As a venture, you have to make sure that your financials as well as your offer are clear and that you're ready for investment. Impact investors are remarkably savvy. They want to make sure that your numbers are right, they want to make sure that you are profitable, and that at the end of the day that they want to make sure they're getting the right kind of return on their investment. In addition to that, they also have to make sure that as a venture, that you are ready for investment. You have the right kind of business plan, that you are prepared and actually able to take capital in order to grow, expand, or enhance your operations.
Investors are looking for creative transactions, transactions that will help us change the market, that will help us achieve our objectives, and for Toronto Atmospheric Fund, that's reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and that will also give us a return on our investment, be that social or financial. And so by creativity, I mean creative security arrangements. We need to have security on our capital, creativity in terms of the negotiation approach so that we each get something that we need. Creativity in terms of just the structure of the transaction, who we lend to, who pays it back, what are the terms, maybe it's phased. So really it's all about thinking through a deal that as an investor we could actually work with. And it doesn't have to be conventional. In fact, it probably should be quite creative in order to achieve all of our objectives.
You need to be able to prove your social environmental impact through a compelling narrative as well as numbers. Your narrative has to tell the individual story that you have as an entrepreneur and the narrative that you have in terms of the impact you have on the individual lives of others as well as the communities that you are affecting. But also not just through a wonderful story about the homes that you're building or the number of cars that you're taking off the road. But you also have to be able to say the number of people you're putting in affordable housing units, the impact you have in terms of reducing the effects of climate change. So as an entrepreneur, you have that burden of proof as a storyteller as well as a number cruncher. There are many kinds of impact investors. The first are financial first investors, those investors that are looking in order to place capital but have finances as their primary motivation. The others are folks that are impact first, ones that would look for a more blended rate of return, that they would recognize, understand, and actually advance the idea that they want to see both the financial return as well as social environmental impact as being equal. And so as a venture, you have to understand what kind of investor you're working with in order to make sure that your investment is successful for yourself as well as for the investor as a whole.
Social lenders balance financial and social return, but at the end of the day, what's still going to be important to them is that they preserve their capital. Now, in measuring whether or not they're going to be able to do so, they're going to look at what's traditionally called the 5 C's of capitalism. The first of these is character. Are you going to pay the loan back? Are you going to be responsible for it? Do you have a history of paying the loan back? The second one is capacity. Do you have a business plan that's demonstrated that you're going to be able to do this project? The third one is capital. Is your group going to be contributing to the overall capital needs of the project? In other words, are you going to be sharing the risk with the investor? The fourth of these is conditions. Has your business plan demonstrated that the proper business and economic environment is going to be in place for you to be successful with this venture? The last of these is collateral. So in other words, if the project doesn't go as well, is the investor going to have an opportunity for what we call an exit strategy? In other words, to recoup some of the investment if the project doesn't go as well as hoped. But of all of these, really character is the most important. Social investing is really about relationship. Investors are looking for borrowers who are passionate and committed to their projects.